So, as you guys know, the Diddy trial started on Monday, and we're already hearing some very interesting things when it comes to opening statements, when it comes to the first witnesses that have been called. Brian Steele is up there actually questioning a couple of the witnesses that have been on the stand so far, and we're going to get into that here in a minute. But as you know, because this is a federal case, we're not going to get video coverage for the entire trial. But we just found out this morning that Law and Crime is going to do something very interesting. And I wanted to talk about this as we start to cover what's happening in the trial, which we'll get to in a second. But check this out from the Mediaite. And their website says Law and Crime recreates scenes from the Diddy trial with AI and official transcripts. So we're actually going to get some semblance of what's going on in the courtroom thanks to AI, these AI generated videos. It's going to be crazy. And y'all know we're going to review them here. What do they say? Law and Crime announced that it would provide coverage of Sean Diddy Combs' trafficking trial by recreating the courtroom using artificial intelligence. Since cameras are prohibited during the federal trials, there will be no real footage from within the courtroom as Combs faces felony charges for trafficking and transportation for prostitution. Because of this, Law and Crime, a legal and true crime media company, we know them very well here on this channel, founded by Mediaite owner Dan Abrams, announced on Monday it would use AI-generated segments to depict the exact words spoken by key witnesses, investigators, and legal figures, ensuring viewers get a factual, real-time understanding of what's unfolding in the courtroom. So let's check out this preview so y'all can see what it looks like, because this is going to be crazy. And actually, let me do it this way. We'll go to the YouTube channel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Maureen Comey, Matisse Steiner, Meredith Foster, Madison Smizer, and Christy Slavic for the government.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You have Mark Agnifilo, Taney Garagos, Brian Steele, Alexandra Shapiro, and Jason Driscoll. And we're joined today by Mr. Combs. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Combs.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Have you heard the questions I asked the government attorney and your counsel and their answers?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
So this is going to be wild, man. Shout out to Law and Crime going absolutely insane and covering this. It's going to be fun and interesting to watch for sure. That way we can have the visuals, especially being here on YouTube. And I think you guys are going to enjoy it too. So stick around for that. And we'll be covering those videos as Law and Crime produces them and puts them up on YouTube. But getting into some of the first witnesses that are heard in this trial, that have been heard in this Diddy trial, it already gets crazy. And we heard some of the rumors about things that Cassie was subjected to, the things that she participated in, especially when it came to these freak offs. And we're going to get an idea of what happened and what went down here. Check this out from XXL. It says Diddy paid a male, y'all know what, worker to urinate in Cassie's mouth, the prosecution claims at trial. It gets worse. Prosecutors in Diddy's trafficking trial say he allegedly paid a certain type of male worker to urinate in the mouth of Puffy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Opening arguments in the Diddy trial. On Monday, May 12th, the opening arguments for Diddy's trafficking case began with the bombshell allegations from the government. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson gave a summary of all the evidence that they would present during the trial, where they are accusing Puff of using power, money, and violence to get people to participate in wild marathons known as freak-offs or Wild King Nights. So we got a new name here, the Wild King Nights, going crazy. According to People magazine, Johnson described one incident where Diddy allegedly paid a worker to urinate in Cassie's mouth during one such event. The incident left Cassie feeling like she was choking, Johnson said. Oh my gosh. And then we have, okay, so it says due to the sense of nature. Okay, so we're not going to show that there. That's fine. He forced her to have intercourse with the escorts while he watched and recorded it, Johnson told the jury. Prosecutors described Diddy as the mastermind of these events and said he used his staff to supply drugs, set up parties, and cover up his crimes. One of their main articles of evidence in 2016 is the 2016 video that shows Diddy assaulting Cassie at the Intercontinental Hotel in LA. which the prosecution says occurred in the middle of a freak-off party. Interesting. I don't think we realized that, because I thought Cassie came to see him and then she left and then she came back. So we're hearing a little bit of a different story when it comes to that situation as well. Cassie is supposed to testify along with multiple alleged victims during the trial, which is expected to last 8 to 10 weeks. Diddy's legal team shoots down allegations. What do they say? Diddy's legal team, led by Mark I always mess up his name, so we're going to say Mark Garagos, and Brian Steele, y'all know Brian Steele, also summarized their case for the jury. They claim Diddy and Cassie's relationship was mutually violent. As far as the years of the parties or the freak-offs that the prosecution is accusing Diddy of hosting and participating in, the Bad Boy Entertainment founder's attorneys say he's participated in a swinger lifestyle, okay? And would frequently hire male escorts. However, they do not agree that it constitutes a trafficking charge. Okay, so that's a little bit looking into what's gone on so far in this trial. We're going to talk about some of the first day happenings, the opening statements. As y'all see, Brian Steele was the one who spoke during opening statements. So I want y'all to let me know what you think about this in the comments and in the chat as well. So let's get into this video covered by TMZ, where they go into more detail about some of the things that were mentioned during the first day of trial. Here we go. And
Harvey Levin here.
Intro.
Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
The Diddy trial is underway. There have been opening statements, and there is now testimony in the case. And the opening statements kind of predictably laid out the prosecution's case and Diddy's defense.
But what the prosecutors started with a bang, with a statement that clearly they knew would get a lot of headlines, but more importantly, get the attention of the jury, talking about details, graphic details from
crazy
freak-offs. And
we should warn the people watching this, this is going to get graphic.
Right. There's a reason that
ready.
they last week kept saying that to all the prospective jurors, it will be graphic.
And before we get into that, I'm glad they mentioned the prospective jurors, because I want to mention this to y'all, and shout out to Amy for posting this over on X. If y'all don't follow her, make sure you go do that at @IAmyLee on X. She posted this picture of what the jury makeup is. So meet the jury in the Diddy trial. What do we have? We've got a 69-year-old actor and massage therapist. What? 31-year-old investment analyst, a 51-year-old scientist, a 30-year-old deli clerk, a 41-year-old homemade. Okay, we've got a 41-year-old communications at a correctional facility, a 68-year-old retired banker, a 68-year-old retired telecommunications worker, a 39-year-old social worker, 39-year-old social worker. How do we get two social workers in there the same age? 67-year-old logistics analyst, 64-year-old treatment coordinator, a 44-year-old assistant of some type. They've got a male, we don't know who they are. And then a 74-year-old treatment coordinator. So the interesting thing about this, and I'm going to get into more detail and read through Amy's tweet here in a second, is my guy at TLA did an amazing video about what to look for and what we should see moving forward when it comes to this Diddy trial, and specifically when it comes to the jury makeup. And if you guys haven't checked that out, I'll leave the link to TLA's video in the description. He talks about the makeup of this jury and how important it's going to be, especially due to the nature of these crimes. Obviously, with the freak-offs being wild, the relationship that Diddy and Cassie had with Cassie being victim number one, and TLA mentioned that there were certain things he would look for if he were trying to pick and decide on the jury. Now, if you go and watch that video, you'll see that if you look at the jury Diddy has in this trial, it goes pretty much against everything that TLA said the defense would want to look for when it comes to picking jurors for this. You've got a lot of older people on this. So we got 69, 68, 67, 74 again. You've even this 50-year-old. when they hear what's going on with these freak offs and how things were handled and what was happening, it's probably going to be somewhat shocking and appalling to them hearing this. And maybe they won't be as open-minded to the situation that Diddy was in, whether he's guilty or not. So also, check this out. The jury for Sean Diddy Combs' federal trafficking and racketeering trial. Here's a snapshot of 12 individuals. Obviously, we went through the 69-year-old male actor and massage therapist. He brings experience from both the arts and wellness sectors. 31-year-old male investment analyst, a young professional with a background in finance. This is probably a 31-year-old male, according to TLA, which makes sense, is somebody that you would want to have on the jury. But as you can see, that's the youngest person on this juror, other than this deli clerk, which we'll get to shortly. 51-year-old male scientist offers methodical and analytical perspective. A 30-year-old female deli clerk represents the working class demographic. 42-year-old female nursing home aide provides insight from the healthcare field. 41-year-old male communications clerk at a correctional facility. TLA mentioned this and he commented on this post as well. This is probably going to be the person who may closely side with Diddy. Familiar with the justice system and its inner workings. 68-year-old male retired banker brings decades of financial sector experience. 68-year-old male retired telecommunications worker offers a technical and possibly unionized labor perspective. We got a 43-year-old female physician's assistant, adds medical experience. We've got a 39-year-old social worker, experience in social issues and advocacy, is same with the other one. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out and if it benefits Diddy or not. Based on the criteria I'm hearing, this is probably not going to be great for Diddy. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Either way, y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments.